Hey there, I'm professional psychic Karen Marie, and this is Psyched Up for Sunday, March 6th, 2022. Thank you so much for tuning in. Really appreciate those of you who take the time to watch me and to share this with your friends. And those of you who make donations, many, many blessings. May it come back to you tenfold. So I've been doing readings in Austin since 1988. I'm primarily a channel, which information just moves through me. So whether I'm using astrology or tarot, I rely more heavily on the information from my guides, from divine sources that move through me. I'm also an empath, which means I feel in my body what's going on for other people. I'm a medium, which means people's loved ones that have crossed will also often use me to deliver messages to their loved ones. I get past life flashbacks. So in private readings, all that I'm giving a combo deal. And so I bring all of that to these videos as well. Never know what's going to come through. I have a basic template in my mind of what I'm going to cover, and then I just let things flow. So my business has primarily been built over the years by word of mouth and referrals, people who've gotten readings from me that turn around and tell their friends. So I would love for this YouTube channel to expand in that same way, that you tell your friends, hey, I found this great psychic. She gives really awesome insight. Mini readings for all 12 signs will be at the end of this video, and I'll put the time stamps below so you can look at that. I'll cover the basic transits for this week. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on that this week. I'll cover the basics that are jumping out at me, but I want to spend more time on the readings. Um, I also want to highlight my jewelry that I have on. Isn't it beautiful? I have beautiful custom made earrings and a necklace that was made for me by Sonia Monique. She's out in LA area in California. I'll put the link to her website below because she has all kinds of really wonderful jewelry, leather bags that she hand makes. They're just amazing. And so kyanite, I wanted to point out kyanite. One of the reasons I wanted her to make a kyanite necklace is that kyanite is one of the only two stones in the mineral kingdom that does not hold a negative charge. It will clear your energy, keep your energy field cleared, and it itself never needs clearing. So I have chunks of kyanite. I have them sitting beside me when I'm doing readings, when I'm sitting here in my chair. This is chunks of raw kyanite. Um, and then you can find the tumbled version, like when they've been polished. And I keep these in my box with my tarot cards. I'll often hold them if I'm, having difficulty getting clear. There's static energy. I'll pick them up and hold them. I often hold them when I'm meditating. So that'll help keep my energy field clear. I sleep with this chunk of kyanite. No lie. This is in my bed with me, as is this chunk of rose quartz. A girl's got to do what she's got to do. I'm an empath. I'm a channel. I need to keep my energy field clear. And these stones around me are super helpful in doing that. So I recommend uh, hitting Sonia up if you want some jewelry as well. Um, if you live here in the Austin area, or even if you don't, I'm sure Nature's Treasures is the place I go to shop. Has a website as well. You could probably order some kyanite, and that's spelled Kyanite. So kyanite. Just want to put a shout out to kyanite. Shout out to some stones, man. Everybody needs to get stoned in this kind of way, right? So these have been super important for me today in particular, but this always, because this has been frenetically really weird today. So today we had Venus and Mars. They've been traveling together for a couple of weeks. They've been moving through Capricorn. This last week, they both crossed over Pluto. So they both crossed over death and transformation. So this is Mars, the ruling planet for Aries. It's also the masculine energy in the zodiac, or one of them. It's how we take action, how we put energy into things. That's what Mars represents. It's also our ego. And then Venus, which is the feminine principle in the universe. It's our love, it's our relationships, it's who we love, what we love, how we receive energy. It's also our money. So these two have been traveling together. I've been talking about this for a couple of weeks. They've been traveling together. This last week, they crossed over Pluto, very intensive energy. And I've been seeing it in my private sessions. A lot of relationships are ending right now, or they're going through a transformation, or new people are coming in. And this will continue to happen. But today, these two move together into Aquarius. So they are at 0 degrees of Aquarius. So any planet at 0 degrees of any sign, zero is like the first number in a sign, right? So we go from 0 to 29. There's 30 degrees in each sign. So a planet can move as it's moving through a sign, will start at 0 and then go to 29. Unless they're the nodes, north and south nodes go the opposite direction. They move into a sign at 29 degrees and then move down to 0. So the planets, if they're moving forward, if they're in direct motion, which right now all the planets are direct, and they will stay direct until the very end of April when Pluto goes retrograde. So we're in a go time right now, astrologically, moving forward. However, Venus and Mars together at 0 of Aquarius. 0 is very wiggy. It's weird. It's nebulous. It feels like it's like no boundaries. Anybody who has 0 degrees in one of their natal planets is learning the lessons of setting boundaries in this lifetime, because 0 is kind of like everything. They can feel everything. I have my rising sign at 0 degrees of Libra, so I feel everything. It's one of my, and setting boundaries with others has been one of my primary lessons so far in this lifetime. I've gotten really good at it, or much, much better, I will say, than I was back in the day. So if you've got any of your planets or your rising sign at a 0 degree of any of the signs, you are also learning this lesson of boundaries. But 0 degrees can just feel weird because it's like open space. So two planets together at 0 is magnifying this energy. And they are my two ruling planets, because I'm a triple Aries. My sun, my Mercury, and my moon are all in Aries. So I'm three times the fiery person. And then, like I just said, my rising sign is Libra. So my two ruling planets are Mars and Venus. Venus rules Libra, Mars rules Aries. So they've been together. So when your ruling planet is at 0, it really affects you. Like, I felt offline most of the day today. I like slept extra. I slept in this morning. I had to take a nap this afternoon. I was just like, I don't know, it was so weird, and I had a lot of anxiety up today, and I was just looking at the planets. Well, of course, my ruling planets are both together at 0 degrees Aquarius, and moving from Capricorn to Aquarius is a completely different energy. Capricorn's an earth sign, right? It's solid. It's our rules and our how we form things. It's our government. And then Aquarius is air, and it's the unique, the different, the outside of the box. It's two completely different signs. So it's a breath of fresh air on one hand, but it can be hard to get traction for anybody, because Mars is how we take action, and Mars in Aquarius is kind of like the kid that just kind of wanders off. It's like it's harder to like get some traction when Mars is in an Earth sign. It's easy to move, whereas like it's an air sign, it's like, oh, okay, now we're floating, now we're flying, woo. And Venus is a lot more comfortable in this air sign, because Venus is about our heart and our love, and so it can be. I love this Venus in Aquarius energy. My natal Venus is in Aquarius too. So, Venus is about what we love, who we love. And so I've always loved the unique, the different. There's my circle of friends have always been super eclectic. So we're all going to be feeling this influence of broadening, expanding what we love and who we love while Venus moves through Aquarius. Now, Venus has finally I mean, they've been moving together. They'll move almost exactly in lockstep this week. Then Venus will begin to pull ahead of Mars, because generally Venus moves more quickly than Mars, right? But Venus went retrograde in December and January. So she was kind of off track and like kind of like really extra exhausted, right? And then moving through a connection with Pluto 3 different times, as I've discussed in past videos, also wiped her out. So what's also very, very powerful about these two being together at this degree point is that in December of 2020, we had two planets at the same point as well. Then it was Jupiter, the planet of expansion, and Saturn, the planet of boundaries and restriction and constriction. These two outer planets at this point was initiating a new 20-year cycle, right? The Great Conjunction is what astrologers were calling that. Not this past December, but the December before that, right? They came together right around the winter solstice and within this powerful point. Now, here are two personal planets, Venus and Mars, at this same point. So, whatever got started, whatever got initiated in your life December over a year ago, you may find that being revisited now with these two personal planets at the same degree point. So, it's super powerful. It'll be different for different people depending on where you have Aquarius in your chart, right? And how do you know where that is? You can go to astro.com, astro.com. You can register for free and plug in your birth data. You have to know your birth date. Most people know that. Not everybody knows their time. Most people also know their place, but those are the three things you need to generate a birth chart: your birth date, your place of birth, and your exact time. The exact time gives you your rising sign and places all the planets in the chart. If you do not know your time of birth, you're missing a huge chunk of astrology. And astrology is so much more than just what your sun sign is. We all have all 12 signs in our chart. And even if you don't have planets in those signs will rule a house. There's 12 houses in astrology, like a pie that's divided up into 12 pieces. And so a sign will rule a particular house, which is a particular area of your life. So I won't go into that. I've gone into that in past videos. I won't go into that today, but wherever you have Aquarius right now, there is now a stellium. Stellium is three or more planets in a sign. So right now we have Mercury, the planet of communication and our thoughts. It's at 25 degrees of Aquarius. So it's in the last decan of Aquarius. And this is about the decan that's about the future. What are we thinking about our future? What do we believe to be true about our future? What kind of causes are we setting through what we're saying and what we're thinking about into the future? Saturn is there, it's at 19 degrees. So it's at the very last number of the second decan, which is about our relationship with the world around us. So we've been working on for some time setting boundaries around the people in our lives, the situations in our life, how we're going to form our life, who we hang out with, that kind of thing. And so Mercury will move into Pisces this week. It does that Wednesday, so it'll move into a new sign. But right now, Mercury's in Aquarius, Saturn's Aquarius, Venus and Mars are there. We also have Juno, which is an asteroid. I won't go into Juno. It's the good wife. It's also in Aquarius right now. So we have a stellium, 4 planets and an asteroid. So there's a extra focus on this Aquarian energy. Aquarius energy is the great awakener. It does things unique and different. It does things outside the box. You never know. If you have an Aquarian in your life, you never know how they're going to show up or what they're going to do. And they know it all. They already know it. Talk to the hand. I already know that. They're the 11th sign of the zodiac. So Aquarius energy is about we, all of us, our networks, our connections. It's the 2 squiggly lines. So it's how we are all vibing together, right? So with all these planets, especially 3 personal planets, and then Saturn, how we form things, there's a lot of emphasis and focus this week on our relationships with others, our networks, our groups, how we travel together with others. What are we doing as a collective? What are we doing as a whole? With Mars and Venus at the first decan of Aquarius, the first decan usually is about ourselves. So this is about your own masculine and feminine coming together within you. And what do you feel guided to be doing? Where do you feel guided to take action, Mars? How do you feel guided to love and nurture yourself, Venus? So for the next week, we're really focusing on these, like, where do we put our energies? How do I take care of me? How do I nurture myself, right? So these are just some of the themes that you might find yourself naturally drifting to this week. We also have a stellium in Pisces right now. Jupiter and the sun, they're 1 degree apart. They were together for the last couple of days. The sun, as I record this, is at 16 degrees of Pisces. Jupiter is at 15 degrees. They come together once a year, right? So sun goes all the way through all the planets. It takes 30 days to go through a sign, each day a different degree. Jupiter is slower moving. So Jupiter expands things, it makes things bigger. So these two together, Jupiter was expanding, Sun illuminating the second decan of Pisces. And what is that? Pisces is too slippery fish, right? It's a water sign, it's mist, it's clouds, it's steam, it's spiritual, psychic on the top end. On the down end, it's unconscious delusion, fog, not being able to see clearly. So when you have your vibration raised, you can tap in to the higher elements of this psychic connection, spiritual connection, psychic downloads, spiritual awakenings. When your vibration is low, then you're like sleepy, in illusion, in delusion, in addiction. These are the downsides of Pisces. So Jupiter makes things bigger. In this second decan, it's really how we're connecting psychically with each other, how we're feeling each other out, how we're coming together spiritually. So whatever you're doing, Jupiter will expand that. Jupiter will be moving towards Neptune, which is sitting at 22 degrees. So it's in this third decan. So we've got Neptune and Jupiter and the sun. Now, Neptune is the ruler of Pisces. In old astrology, when the planets were just what they could see with their naked eye, Jupiter was the ruler of Pisces. So it's the old ruler, Neptune's the new ruler. So they're kind of co-rulers. A lot of astrologers look at them both as rulers of Pisces. So the two rulers of Pisces are going to be coming together in April for the first time in our lifetime and the only time in our lifetime. So these co-rulers coming together in the sign of Pisces is a super auspicious time that we're already starting to feel, because we start feeling transits ahead of time, especially outer planets and moving slowly. So we're already feeling this is like a rumbling of spiritual awakening, psychic awakening. I think a lot of people are just going to be waking up psychically and spiritually over the next couple of months, right? The sun has moved over Jupiter. It'll move over Neptune in another 6 days. By the end of the week, it's going to be conjunct Neptune. So it's emphasizing the psychic radar planet. So the stellium in Pisces and the stellium in Aquarius is really turning our attention into psychic, spiritual things that are beyond our tangible feel. We can feel them spiritually, we can sense them, but we may not be able to feel them concretely, right? So it's a lot of emphasis will be placed over this next week on trusting your intuition. How does it feel in your gut, right? And I believe everyone has psychic abilities. We're all psychic. Everybody's intuitive. And that those abilities show up in different ways. And some people just have them extra strongly, and other people, it's more weak. To me, I use the same analogy, like anyone could learn how to sing or play an instrument or beat a drum, right? We could all learn the basics of music in some way. Now, some people are just going to take to it easily, going to be extra gifted at it. Some people may really suck at it. Doesn't mean they can't beat something out. They may have an irregular rhythm, but they're still going to be able to beat a drum if they can move their hands, right? So we can all enhance our psychic abilities. Whatever you have in a basic latent way can be developed, can be grown, just like music can be if you practice an instrument or practice singing, right? It can be developed, it can get better. So your psychic abilities can get better, can get stronger. And some people are visual. You see auras, you see spirit guides, you have visions. Other people are like me, empathic. You could feel what other people are feeling. And then there's people who are telepathic. They can feel, they can know what other people are thinking. There's psychometry, where you pick up an object and you get information, or you can get past life flashbacks. All the senses, tasting, smelling, hearing, touching, all those can be enhanced and have a psychic version of them. So we all interpret things differently. And some people's gut feel it in their gut. I think people feel things in their literal third eye. Sometimes people feel it behind their neck. Where psychic information shows up in your body can be different from person to person, but it's important to know where and how it shows up for you. And very often we notice our psychic intuition when we override it, right? We get a feeling, I shouldn't really, I don't want to go to that party. I don't feel like it, right? Force ourselves to go. Everybody else is going to be there. I should go. And then you like, run over a nail on the way to there. You have a flat tire. And you're like, see, if I had just stayed home, right? So we can often see where our intuition is guiding us. And our intuition will guide us in practical ways into like what we're guided to eat, who we're guided to be around or not be around, as well as bigger events like the war that's showing up. I've been feeling this war. If you've been watching my videos for the last couple months, you'll know I've been feeling it coming. I didn't know where on the planet. I had just been feeling war. And, here it is showing up. And it's like, ugh, right? And I feel like we're not done yet. Like there'll be other places bubbling up with this same kind of warring energy. Again, I don't know where. I'm just feeling it. So, um, some people are tapped into the collective. Some people are just tapped into loved ones. You can get psychic um, abilities just between people. If two people that know each other well or have their intuition turned up, you can pick up on when the other person's thinking of you. A lot of times you'll get a hit on someone before they text or call, like, I was just thinking about Sally. And then Sally calls or Sally texts. You're like, yep, nope, we're on the same framework. People have a dream about someone. A lot of psychic abilities show up in dream world. That's when mine first showed up. That's the first indication that I had that I was psychic, was dreaming about things that either were happening as I was dreaming or were about to happen. And this was back when I was a child. That was the first time I kind of got freaked out. I was having deja vu things all the time. So anyway, I think that's all I have to say about psychic abilities. I don't really even want to dive much into the transits this week. The moon is in Taurus right now. It's conjunct Uranus. It'll be going over Uranus tonight, probably while we're sleeping. So you could definitely have some sudden, unexpected dreams happening. Um, Jupiter and Pluto both moved to a new degree on Thursday. We've never had Pluto be at 28 degrees in our lifetime. So anytime an outer slow moving planet moves to a new degree, it's carving out new space and new energy. And Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn is where this patriarchal power control over paradigm is being brought to a head and is being transformed. Pluto is death and transformation. Capricorn is government, the how we form things, it's institutions and it's top down power over people, right? And so Pluto is transforming this old school paradigm. So it will be moving back and forth over these last couple degrees of Capricorn. It'll dip into Aquarius starting in March of next year, and then it dips back into Capricorn, and then that like it's doing a back and forth because it does like a two-step anyway. The way it travels is why it takes it forever to get anywhere. So between now and November of 2024, Pluto is dancing back and forth across these last degrees of Capricorn into the beginning of Aquarius. But by this November of 2024, Pluto will be in Aquarius in total new energy. And just like we've just felt Venus and Mars shifting from Capricorn to Aquarius, like I know I'm not the only one that felt the shift over the last 24 hours. When Pluto starts shifting back and forth, we're really all going to be feeling it. It could really feel like a roller coaster ride. So, when these power and control paradigms are coming to a head, people who are used to having power and control over people will be like Custer's last stand, just like revving it up to hold on to their power, right? But Pluto transforms, and Pluto is transforming this area of the chart. So, anywhere in your life where you have power and control issues showing up, whether that's your boss at work or your husband or your parent or the government where you live, or the, whatever, anybody who's in power and control, and it shows up differently in everybody else. And depending on where you have Capricorn in your chart, this is where you'll see these power and control issues showing up in your life, right? So if you want to know more about that, contact me for a private reading and we can drill down and talk more specifically about where you'll see this showing up. Because depending on where it shows up, some people it's pretty minor, it's not really affecting them personally. Other people, it's directly affecting. Like, for example, I have my South Node at 27 degrees of Capricorn, where Pluto is right now. And I'm having all this past life karma, past life flashes coming up. People that I've known from past lives coming into my life. It's been very interesting, to say the least. But none of us have experienced Pluto at 28 degrees. We haven't experienced it at 29 degrees, where it'll be going next. It'll go backwards first now because it goes retrograde in April. So it's just carving out this part of the chart. So it's, long story short, it's going to be a gnarly couple of years. Let me just say, between now and November of 2024, we're going to see these power and control issues just be activated and these towers of Babel falling, right? But they're going to try to hold on for all it's worth. And so anybody that's power hungry, which I see Putin as someone who's power hungry, and so he's being activated right now. With this, energy of Pluto in the last degrees of Capricorn. So anyway, it'll be really interesting to see how this new movement, Pluto going up to the next sign, where it's just, so again, it's going to be at 28 degrees. That'll be next Thursday. Jupiter moves to 16 degrees next Thursday. Jupiter at 16 should be super powerful because it's makes to a 7, which is spiritual. So this planet that expands things, and the sign that expands our psychic and spiritual connection, and at the number 7 is like super on for psychic, tuning into your psychic abilities, getting downloads from spirit, having amazing spiritual awakenings and aha. So I think that this next week there's going to be people who wake up that have been asleep, and if you're already awake, you may just get even more ahas, realizations, and messages. And Mercury's moving into Pisces on Wednesday. This is the planet of communication moving into this Pisces again, another placement for spiritual and psychic downloads. But also, since it rules our head, we can, like, if we're not on it, we can just also just like want to go to sleep, want to check out. Addiction issues could really be raising their ugly heads if you're wrestling with addiction at all. That could really get stirred up this week. Another reason for that is Mercury's going to be trining Black Moon Lilith tomorrow on Monday. Black Moon Lilith represents our fears. It's in the last decan of Gemini right now, so it could really trigger fears that are triggered by our mind, our thinking, overthinking. We could also have ahas and realizations around how we're sabotaging ourselves with our mind. That could be a positive way that can be, we could be spinning that. So that's all I'm going to say about the transits for this week. I mean, we've got the stellium in Pisces, stellium in Aquarius. So this part of the chart, like the planets are kind of concentrated in this part of the chart, wherever that is in your life. So focus on really connecting with each other psychically, spiritually. Downloads come easier. I'm always advocating meditation, but particularly this week, I want to really recommend. I've been upping my meditation time. I usually meditate every morning for about 30 minutes. This last week, I've meditated for an hour every day. Today, I went in for a second hour. I did 2 hours today because I was feeling so off and so weird and so wiggy, and I just needed to plug into the divine and to step away from what's going down on this planet right now. As an empath, it's been really difficult for me to know what's going down on the other side of our planet. I'm feeling it, not to mention what's been going down for a while with COVID and what that has stirred up for everybody. But having war on our planet affects everyone on the planet. We all affect everyone on the planet. So when you take the time to meditate, i.e., raise your vibration, here's the collective pulse. Like, we all automatically go to the default of tapping in and writing with whatever the collective is doing. collective, everyone on the planet, vibing in a lot of fear, a lot of anxiety, a lot of depression, a lot of worry, then we're all feeling extra anxious, extra worried, extra depressed. So to get up out of this collective, you have to do spiritual practice or something that raises your vibration, moving your body, getting out in nature. There's lots of ways, grabbing stones to raise your vibration, but it requires an extra concerted effort right now because the collective is just, it's like a drumbeat of fear and panic and anxiety and depression just like beating so loudly. So you have to grab a higher the higher bootstraps of your higher spirit to raise yourself above the collective so you can have some wherewithal, so you can have some insight, so you can see what your higher self is guiding you to do. Otherwise you're just going to flow along and pick up addictive things. You're going to be just like covering up, running away. Like, it's, the times are so intensive right now. And so it is paramount to pick up spiritual practices, chanting, praying, meditate, doing breath work. Find a video on YouTube and meditate along with it. I like to listen to solfeggio frequencies. I've listened to a lovely meditation that has oming and drumming and solfeggio frequencies all blended together because it just helps me raise my vibration. I mean, I don't do that all the time, but when I'm needing that extra umph, like, okay, help me, universe, there are things out there that can assist you in raising your vibration. So I highly recommend that everybody be meditating every day without exception, at least a few minutes a day. And if you already have a spiritual practice, I bet you're already doubling it like I am. Like, I know I've talked to a lot of people who are also doing that anyway. They're just feeling compelled to meditate more, to pray more for those on the other side of the planet that are suffering so, so much. So, all right. So that's what I have about the transits for this week. All right. Once again, Sonia Monique, that's how you spell her name. That's her little card for my earrings. You like this jewelry? She's amazing. Very psychic herself. So she imbues a very high level of psychic spiritual energy into her jewelry. All right, so I have now pulled out this card. This healing card came up today in my dailies. For those of you that don't know already, I post 1-minute videos or 59-second videos every day. I put them up on my Facebook personal page, my Facebook professional page, my Instagram, and now my TikTok. And so I'll draw a card every day, or I'll talk about the transits for the day, whatever I feel guided to do. This card came up today. It's been coming up again and again and again and again. It came up 3 times last week in this video. It came up for all the air signs last week. A couple months ago, it came up for 6 of the signs. So I am pulling the card out from the deck and knowing that everyone needs to concentrate on generating healing energy to everyone on the planet. Obviously, in 3.5 decades of doing psychic readings, I have never had a card be emphasized as much as this one has been, over and over and over again. It's the healing card. So it's denoting, what it tells me is a lot of people on the planet are suffering in all the different ways: physically, emotionally, mentally, psychically, spiritually. Like, people are freaking out and need healing in their mind, body, and spirit. So in your meditation, which you'll be doing every day, right? Please, please, please send out healing energy to everyone around you that needs it, to everyone on the planet, to the planet itself. Like, to me, I feel like Mother Earth itself is in need of healing, right? The planet itself. And I'm feeling so many more earth changing weather events that are also we're going to be happening in addition to this war that we have on the planet. And all the people that have been suffering for COVID, who've lost someone because of COVID and are just dealing with grief. I run into people like that all the time, people who are extra anxious, extra depressed, like, it's just been so, so difficult. So I'm pulling this card out today so it won't show up for any of the signs, but it shows up for everyone, right? So we all need to be thinking about this healing card, but I'm literally pulling it out today because I want something other than this card. Yes, okay, I get it. The healing. We all need healing. We all need to generate prayer for healing. I got it. So I pulled it out. So it's not going to come up for anybody's private, personal readings. So let me grab a swig here of my drink. All right. Let's start with the Aries. This is what the Aries need to know for this week. This week of March 6th through to the 13th. I had to look at the calendar to see where I am. What week is it? All right, Aries, what do y'all need to know? Ooh, the projection card. Okay, so this card comes up when someone is projecting onto you, and notice both people are doing it. So usually there's a mirror going on, and you may also be projecting onto another person. So this is when someone overlays. On the negative end, it's when someone is seeing stuff, their own unresolved stuff onto you. You always did that. You never, and you're like, no, I'm not. And you're like, that's you. You do that. Like that kind of back and forth. That can mean this. So it could be someone dumps their stuff on you. It also could be someone is just, you could just feel it psychically that someone thinks the worst of you, has a negative opinion of you, has prejudged you, right? That could come up. It also can be when someone overlays extra positive. They've got you up on a pedestal. They just only see the good in you. You're like, hey, I got clay feet. Don't just, or you may be doing this for someone else, right? So you may be looking at someone else in a negative light. You could be someone holding someone up to too great a height that they can't really live up to, that they aren't, you may be seeing the best in them, and that's not what they're generating. So this projection card is like, watch out, pay attention to the dynamics in relationships. This can be some illusionary thinking, right? And if it's someone else that's doing it to you, it feels really awful for someone else to be projecting their stuff onto you. And people who have not worked through their stuff will do that. They'll see in others the part of themselves that's rejected, right? That they're not owning, right? So there's definitely a potential for this to show up in relationships and turn into a fight, right? Like because someone calls you out for something you are not doing or it's not happening, and then you feel the need to defend yourself. Aries, it's hard to let things just slip by, right? We want to, what? We're ruled by Mars, the god of war. So like, what'd you say? That's not true. I didn't do that. Like, so you could, if you don't watch yourself, you could end up in this tug of war of verbal back and forth. And so I'm just seeing the blue energy here. There's a need to like focus on peace. And if there's a relationship in your life that really stirs you up a lot, that where you just find yourself always having to defend yourself. It's not just this week. This happens all the time. This is a relationship you need to step away from if you can. Like if it's a boss or someone you can't, or mother or father, you can't really completely step away from. There may need to be a way to just not be around them as much as you can. So I'm really hearing step away from the fight, step away from the conflict. Ask yourself, how is this, if someone is calling you out, is there any truth in this? If there's not any truth in it, you just need to know that there's no truth in it. So I feel like I need to draw another card because that one does not feel very positive. Oh, well, this one doesn't feel any better. It's the exhaustion card. Oh, looks like Aries, it could be a rough week. I'm sorry. The exhaustion card is coming. It was like, I'm so tired of. So if you're tired of this scenario, it's time to make some changes. It's time to get out of a relationship, a situation. If it's you like, you could be projecting something onto your environment too, like, and just it just feels like you're needing to have a breath of fresh air, kind of clear up your environment, go somewhere new, like go find a place in nature that can reinvigorate you. It feels like that. And this exhaustion card could be tied to physical health, like your body may be trying to fight off something, trying again the healing card. If you're like having allergies, your body could be extra tired. If you're fighting off a cold or flu, you could be extra tired. If you've been doing just everything for everyone else, you could feel extra tired. But it just feels like Aries needs to up the self-care between these two cards. It feels like you need to make sure you're taking care of you and doing things that make you feel better. I'm really getting to get out in nature, to like to really find a place where you can be still, you can take a walk in nature, you can sit by a babbling brook, you can stare at a fire. Like there's a need to cleanse and clear, get in the tub and soak with bath salts, grab essential oils, grab your stones, shift this energy because it feels like you could be steeped in some funky energy this week, Aries. So let's work on clearing that out so that's not the case. Just because I pull these cards, it doesn't mean you have to feel the negatives, right? So it's like heads up, watch out. It could be dicey out there. So if you know this ahead of time and say, okay, I'm going to make sure I chant more, I'm going to breathe deeply for a longer period, I'm going to meditate for a longer period, it can really shift your reality because your environment is a reflection of yourself. And if you raise the game internally, then your environment shifts. So if you're in your kind of lower unconscious self, that's going to be mirrored back to you. Whereas if you raise your game, you'll have a different reality. So you can get out in nature and remind yourself to ground, clear this energy, pick up your stones and crystals, and again, meditate, raise your life condition so you get up above this frenetic energy. All right, that's what I get for the Aries. Wish I had better news. Sorry. Okay, moving on to the Taurus. Breakthrough. So, y'all aren't stuck this week. This is like celebration, breaking through an obstacle, getting a lot done. You can have a breakthrough in your heart, in a relationship. You can get the good news at a job. You can get something accomplished or finished you've been working on. There's a strong spiritual energy too. You may feel powerful in your prayer and what you're generating to others. Um, you may be literally breaking something apart, I'm seeing chunks of stuff flying. I don't know if you're getting at your sledgehammer, you're breaking, you could accidentally break thing. I remember my first husband was from Morocco. And so anything that would get broken in the house, he'd say 7 years, good luck. It was like a total different spin on it than what I had grew up with. Like you break a mirror, it's bad luck. He was like, no, good luck. Like, okay, so it's all how you look at it. But it feels like things are breaking off, breaking up, breaking out. A lot of energy. There's also like the fists up here. So there could be something where it's like you're breaking out of like of a fighting situation as well. Like it could be that you have a break up in a relationship because you've been fighting and you're like, enough of this. Ugh, not doing this anymore. But this could be also just a battle with yourself. The fight could be within. It doesn't necessarily have to be with someone else. Um, but I definitely feel like some of you are fighting. But this is a win. Um, this is powerful energy this week, Taurus is. So whatever you're doing, it feels like you're moving your life forward. Like, right, the moon is moving through your sign, so you're feeling your stuff extra activated. Your planet's extra activated right now, so extra umph to get something done. I really feel like you're accomplishing something big this week. And this could be like a shift in energies. You whatever you finish or create or break through this week has long lasting effects, is what I'm getting to. So you could be writing a song that gets played out there forever. You could be having some sort of, I'm getting a strong energy of creativity, a breakthrough in creativity. Um, uh, and I'm just getting this long lasting effect. Like there's a breakthrough, right? It means you're not going back. You're moving into new territory, whether that's symbolic, just personally in your life, you're breaking through an impasse through that you've been stuck internally, or that could be literally an external breakthrough, or breaking up, but it's positive, even if it's, it may, it may, a breakdown may, uh, come before the breakthrough. You may just be like, "Oh, I can't do this anymore," and then just rally and break through. This could be a breakthrough professionally, it could be a breakthrough athletically, um, but it feels super powerful, super positive. So, congratulations, Tauruses, on whatever it is you're breaking through. All right, we'll go to the Geminis. The Tower card, the Thunderbolt. This is, that's what it looks like. It's like everybody's bailing off ship as lightning striking. It can feel very intensive when it's happening. Like this person's crotch is on fire, their heart's on fire. Like it's like all the chakras are lit up. So it could be just some, I mean, this situation, this warfare that's going on the planet could really be jacking with you as well. You could just be having some anger that propels you into motion. Something could come out of left field and hit you. It could be someone else's anger at you, or you could be involved in an accident this week. Something feels disconcerting. Um, I mean, I noticed that through all these lightning bolts and people bailing and fires, this person's meditating though. Like the answer is definitely to go within and to get spiritual, no matter what's going on. Like it can be fuel for your own inner transformation, and this could be symbolic of just an inner transformation. Doesn't mean it has to show up in a disconcerting way in your life. It could just be internally, you're really breaking through some barriers. But I'm getting fire, anger, like intensity. Like it feels like is an intense week. And it could just even be psychologically that you're like tapped into the war over in Ukraine and it's just really messing with you. There could be a fighting going on in your life and you could be bailing um, out of a relationship, or bailing out of a work situation, or bailing out of a commitment you've made. You're like, I can't, I gotta go. Whatever, when the thunderbolt comes up, you can't miss it. It's strong, it's powerful, it can be disconcerting, but I feel like it's helping catapult you somehow, in a way that's positive. And I keep looking at this silhouette of the person meditating. Like there's spiritual good at the heart of this. If you can center yourself spiritually, then whatever's happening externally, whether it's a fight with another person, whether it's what's going down on the planet, whether it's you're involved in an accident, if you can maintain your center, you can see the next right step. You can see the way through. This won't be forever. It's not, but it does feel like it's a super intensive week for you guys, Geminis. Yeah. Breathe deeply and often. That's what I say about this week for the Geminis. All righty. We'll go to the Cancers. This is the postponement card. So this card shows up when you're on hold, you're having to wait for something. It's not the right time yet. Like, ugh. It also is the card that shows up to mean depression in my reading. So it's like this person's gray. That there's color here, but they're not even looking at what they can be. So it's like it's watch yourself. You maybe, just really not feeling not yourself, and just trust that this too shall pass. This won't be forever this way. There's a color here on the person's shirt. It feels like you need to really up the self-care, like make sure you're eating healthy, make sure you're drinking lots of water, soaking in the tub, like getting some healing work if you can. You may need to get some Chinese herbs to help if you're like really having a hard time with brain chemistry, B vitamins, flaxseed oil. You may need to really take a supplement to help you with that, up your energy. You may need to go and see someone about taking some pharmaceuticals if it's something that's been going on for quite a time and you cannot shift it. I found that Chinese herbs through an acupuncturist can be very, very helpful for brain chemistry things. I found that personally, but also I've seen that with other clients. Um, so depending on whether or not this has been a chronic situation, you've experienced this for a while, or whether it's just temporary. If it's just this week and you're just feeling kind of funky, just remind yourself this too shall pass. You also, little empathic cancers, may be picking up on just the collective and how many, many people are in angst and fear and worry right now. And so shake it off too. Like, how much of it is your stuff? How much of it is someone else? Are you worried about someone else? Little cancers, you often can be worried about other people, whether it's people you know or don't know. And again, there's just this need to get some color in your life. This may be like to dive into a creative project of some kind to sort of distract your mind onto something that feels good, even if it's something rote or mindless, like doing a puzzle or doing a diamond painting, getting out an adult coloring book, something really easy like this. Or you may feel better like getting out the acrylics and a blank canvas and painting, or doing some music, doing some dancing, going to see something that inspires you creatively, um, reading a book that inspires you. I'm just feeling that you need to do something, take some sort of action to get out of this could be a rut that you're in, cancers. Um, if you're being held back and it's just like something that you're on hold about, you're feeling fine emotionally and you're just having to wait for something, breathe deeply and often and know that the time will come. Um, and what can you do right now today? To me, that's one of the best things that we can ask our higher self, our guidance. What today do I feel guided to do? Now, what do I need to do? What should I do? What would bring me joy to do today? What would lift my spirits to do today? What can I do to affect a change in a positive way in my life today? And then follow whatever insight impulse that you get. You may need to call someone and say, "Hey, I'm really struggling. Can you give me some advice? Can you help me laugh? Would you go with me to see some comedy?" Um, yeah, it's going to be different for different people, but this too shall pass. All righty, we'll go to the Leos. The Success card. This is good news for the Leos. You're finally breaking through something. You're getting some good luck. Some universe is helping you. The tiger here is on the globe here. So there could be something that's global or international, a person from another side of the earth that contacts you or comes to visit you, or maybe you're going to visit somewhere or someplace else. You're making plans for a trip. It could be just symbolic. You could be putting prayers out for the people on the other side of the planet, but this is a positive sign. It's celebration, it's good news. It's like you get the raise, you get the promotion, you get the job, you successfully separate from your relationship in a way that feels relieving, like it's a hallelujah. You get to go to someone's birthday party and it's a lot of fun. Maybe you were at Mardi Gras and you're still throwing the beads around. I mean, it's Lent now, so but there's a celebration, there's good news, there may be a party that you're going to, you may be doing something for spring break that you're planning. I'm also just seeing this sort of, I'm seeing the colors of this robe. It feels very native to me, like Native American Indian stuff. So that could be somehow that you're, I don't, going to a powwow, symbolically or literally, that you may be actually encountering someone could come into your life that has some native energy. You may be drawn to some native jewelry or native clothing. It feels like some Leos, or there's something connected with American Indian native energy. Um, it doesn't have to be American. It could be native energy from any part of the planet, but there's definitely, yeah, I don't know. I'm just getting that specific insight about someone being drawn to, and you may be in New Mexico where there's like pueblos and cliff dwellings and teepees and stuff. Like someone feels like they're literally hanging out where Native Americans are. Like you're in Oklahoma, you're doing that. I mean, natives have been all over this land, so it could really be anywhere. Yeah, celebration, good news, victory, yay, taming the tiger of your life. Yeah, making progress too. I'm feeling like if you've been dealing with, maybe you've gotten into an exercise groove, or you're eating more healthy, or you've put a substance down, or you've stopped smoking or something, and it just feels like, yay, now I've done a whole month of that, or a whole 6 days of that, or whatever. It's like some sort of victory over taming the tiger. I'm getting like, so it does feel like somebody is overcoming an addiction of some sort, really making a shift when it comes to something that was out of balance in your life, and now you feel like, okay, now it's in balance, now I'm balancing it out. I'm having some relief. Uh, so yeah, that's what I'm getting for the Leos. All right. We'll go to the Virgos. We are the world. So this is the ultimate in potentiality. It feels like you may have stepped out of something's, like really opened up your horizons in some way. You stepped out of a relationship, and now it's, we can be and do anything in the world, or you're going to, or you stepped into a relationship where it's got all the potentiality in the world. You stepped away from a job, and now you have all this potential. You've stepped into a job, you have all this potential. Like I feel like whatever you're doing, there's like a best case scenario here. Anything is possible. Like you're seeing the glasses, you know, half full instead of half empty. There's a positive outlook on life, on things. You're definitely putting out prayer, or visualizing the world as whole. We're all one. We're all on this planet together. Maybe your focus has been on the war going on the other side of the planet, and maybe you're sending prayer. You're sending, may it be literally helping out. You may have sent some money to a humanitarian effort. I'm really seeing all these human beings all, working together. So you may be very drawn to putting energy out for the planet to be healing. You may be a healer and maybe doing that in your personal life as well, just here on the local front, or wherever you are on the local front. Dancing, I'm seeing all these people dancing together. So there's definitely like a coming together, a celebration. You may be doing this with others, like being just like feeling very positive and optimistic. Um, yeah, being able to really look at what's good, being able to pull in gratitude, being able to put prayer out to the situations that you don't have control over. It's like knowing what you have control over, knowing what you don't have control over, lifting up, um, lifting humanity up. It just feels like you guys have been doing a lot of visualization and healing work for the planet, for everyone on the planet, is what I'm feeling. Keep it up. We could all use that. A lot of people are struggling. So keep that up, Virgos. If that's what you're doing, then thank you very much. Um, and this is also just the sign that anything's possible. If you are in doubt and you don't know, this sign is saying, if you believe in it, you can do it, you can achieve it, whatever that is. So, all right, we'll go to the Libras. The Creator card. This is about making things happen. This is about knowing what's in your power to manifest and create. This is bringing out your higher self and being able to manifest a change. This is sending out powerful prayer to others. It's like something is in your power and control to affect a powerful change. You know, there's just this beautiful ball of light here being emanated. So you may be putting prayer out to the planet. You may be manifesting. It's the Creator card. So you may be writing something powerful this week. You could write a song. You could write part of your memoir, write part of a novel, or write a beautiful poem. Um, the creative energy is strong in whatever way. You may be writing a screenplay. There's a powerful writing element I'm getting, though, creating. Maybe creating something really beautiful in a relationship. Um, you may be creating life itself. There could be an inception energy going on here, um, a conception energy going on here. There's also just this guru energy, right? He's like, this is really plugging in spiritually. So you could just really have some amazingly yummy spiritual time this week and spiritual downloads and just really getting who you are in your highest self, like maybe even getting a glimpse of your Buddha nature, your Christ self, your higher self. What's coming to mind is when I first started practicing Buddhism 38 years ago, I was told everyone has a Buddha nature within. And I'm like, oh, yeah, that just felt really right. We all have divine within us. And there's this divine that permeates the universe. And it's one thing to understand it conceptually, but then to really take within, ooh, I have a Buddha within me. Like that's a whole different, like, it's like, oh, yeah, I get that sounds right. Like we all have Buddhas within, like we all can be Buddhas. And then it's like, what does that really mean? If you really tap into that in a real way, what does that mean? Like if you have that Christ self within you, like if you have your divine self fully operational, what does that look like? What does that feel like? What is your system doing? What does your life look like when you're operating on full tilt boogie, when you're operating truly from your best self? Because it looks like you have the opportunity to be doing that this week, Libra, like really tapping into the best of you. It may be having the worst of you come up first and then like saying, no, I'm going to let my higher self run this show, not my lower self. There may be some inner battle that you're doing within, and the higher self ends up winning. Um, so if you're watching this, I'm going to guess that the battle is a consciousness battle and that you're winning because you're awake and conscious. People who are unconscious and asleep are not watching this video. Just saying. Okay. Yeah, it looks like a beautiful, powerful week. Be really interested to see what you Libras create this week. If something new gets created this week, could be a new relationship being created, new person could be created. Definitely creative projects seem to be strong and just beautiful, powerful spiritual meditation, prayer energy this week as well. So let me know. All right, we'll move on to the Scorpios. Mix up the cards here in a different way. I just follow intuition. Intuition says, shuffle them differently. I say, okay, I will do that. And we have the participation card. This is working together with others. This is like doing a group, doing a collective where this is other people at work. This is getting together with your best friends. This is getting together with a spiritual group and getting together with family. There's like four different entities here, all, putting their hands together. If you look closer, there's all these are like 8 hands, right? Very interesting. One hand up, one hand down. So it's like the energy's flowing through all four people. So it takes all four people to come together. So the number four does seem to be standing out. So there could be you're getting together with three other people. You plus three other makes a four. There's something about the number four that is leaping out at me. Maybe it takes four pieces of something. If it's not four people, like four different areas of your life that are coming together. Because there's this it feels like it's other people though, that whatever you're trying to do, you're needing other people to come in and help you. um Again, I'm just looking at these hands, right? Something being activated about like all hands on deck, everybody playing their part. uh Everybody's giving and everybody's receiving. It's kind of like going to a clothing swap, right? And you bring what you have to get rid of, go home with new things. Like it has that kind of energy. It could be just symbolically that way, but it feels like you're working together with others this week, Scorpios. And that it takes everybody to pull together as a team to accomplish something, to make something work, to have a powwow, have a conference, call, get on Hulu, get on Zoom together. Maybe you are watching a show together. That could happen too, right? Playing video games together, four-hand pianos. My mom is a piano teacher, so she used to have like two pianos in her piano studio, and sometimes she'd have these piano pieces there where there'd be 8 hands, right? There'd be two people on each piano, and everybody's playing, so 8 hands playing music. So it could be like a band kind of an energy, getting together with others doing music. Yeah, it feels very positive and very good and uplifting for everybody involved. So whatever's going on with the Scorpios, you're enjoying community this week, connecting with others. And then we'll go to Sagittarius's. The no thingness card. This is a blank, clean slate. This is the new beginning. This is a blank canvas. This is something new beginning. It's kind of like planting a seed of some sort. It could literally mean a blank canvas. You could be literally painting something new, starting a new creative project, starting a new project at work, starting a new therapy, session with your partners, making plans together that are new. New creative projects of all kinds, getting a new journal to start writing out of. Um, but it's something that has not happened before. There's something new about this week, and it comes from your own creativity, your own initiative, what you feel guided to do yourself, not that somebody else wants you to do, but that you feel that you need to be doing. There's the Roman numeral 5 here, so that seems like there's something that is involving 5. I'm not sure what that is, or maybe the 5th month by May, something will be finished that you're starting now. It could be 5 people that are involved in something. It also could be victory, very intensive, like valedictorian. I'm not sure. No thingness. This is also just about meditation too, and being able to disconnect from the world around you, not worrying about your things, not worrying about money or finances, like really trusting the space between breaths, right? Like that when there's like that you're okay no matter what. It's not attached to the people, the places, or things in your life, that you're okay. Um, that even in nothingness, that there's something spiritual that's intensive, that's present, that you can tap into presence when, it almost feels like sensory deprivation, like maybe a great week to go get in one of those float tanks, right? Where you could just have your senses depressed so you can get really calm and really still. I feel like there's a need to do nothing as well. Like it's like take a break this week, chill, just get really quiet within too. Um, so this feels like from the quiet, from the void, something new is being created, something new is being initiated, something new is being started. Yeah. There's a vision, that V for vision. There we go. I think that's what the V is for, the number 5, a vision. You may very well have a vision that comes through this week. So pay attention to your dreams, meditation, that there's something new that you're being prompted to do. So pay attention. Get quiet. It's not about figuring it out. It's not about overthinking. It's about letting an image come, letting a creative idea just move through you, getting like an aha, an inspiration, right? No thingness. All right, we'll go to the Capricorns. And you've got the success card as well. So this is about taming the tiger. It's celebration. It is literally success. Good news at something. You achieve something you've been working hard towards. You overcome an addiction, tame the tiger. You've started off on a new path. You're doing global travel. You're connecting with someone that's international, this tiger on the globe. You're praying for those on the other side of the planet. You're going to plan to have a trip. You're taking a trip. Someone from another side of the planet is coming to see you. Celebration, good news. I'm really seeing the stripes on the tiger. It just feels like you've been through it. Like each one of these stripes has been like, you're getting chunks taken out of you, but it feels like you're like, there's some sort of release from something this week. You're able to just like release, relax, have a good time. Maybe you're taking some time off from work. You're getting a promotion, you're getting a raise, you're completing a course of some sort. You're completing a karmic cycle. Like, you're freeing yourself from a relationship that was not really serving you anyway. There's a sense of relief, celebration, release, fun, party. There's definitely like the celebratory party. You may be, just, uh, yeah. I was, I said, you may be overdoing it, is one of the things I was hearing. It's like, so be careful not to party too much. Is it like, okay, party, but do it in moderation is what it feels like. Party in moderation. That would be involving imbibing in alcohol or other substances could be involved. Um, I'm also getting there could be news coming, like personal for you personally. Like you may get some good news of like something you've been waiting to hear or receive. Like, finally, something has shifted. So that looks powerful. It looks like it's a good week. Just like I said, be careful not to do too much because it feels like y'all can do things to excess this week, and so watch that. You'll be hating yourself the next day if you do. Um, yeah. Accolades, like being point something hard that you've been working on, maybe pointed out. Um, by others, like you finally get noticed. There's something like that, something about that going on too. So it's like, finally, this guy's throwing his hands up. Finally get the someone noticing. Finally, he says he'll come visit. Finally, she said yes. Whatever it is, it looks like it's good news. Success. Pretty self-explanatory. All righty, we'll go to the Aquarians. The maturity card. This card's about self-care. It's really about taking care of yourself, kind of stepping away from the world. What do you need to do to make yourself feel better? What makes you feel more beautiful? This is like about buying yourself flowers, getting stones and crystals that make you feel better, putting on your favorite kimono and just staying in it all day, getting yourself a manicure, pedicure, getting some health healing, Reiki, massage, acupuncture, soaking in the tub, cleaning your house, like whatever feels like self care, cooking up some good food. This is about knowing that you don't need anybody else to love you. You need to love you. You don't need anybody else telling you you're beautiful. You just need to feel beautiful yourself. That kind of, or handsome if you're a guy. Um, but this is definitely, there's some quality time spent with you this week is what I'm seeing with this card. Just enjoying nature, enjoying time spent just in solace, in meditation, in just peace and quiet. Flowers, maybe you're planting flowers, maybe you're buying yourself some flowers. You could be trying on some new makeup or deciding not to wear makeup, like whatever feels good, whatever feels loving and nurturing for you. Um, and realizing that if you love you, you're not missing out. Like if you bring yourself joy, not looking to anyone else to make you feel loved, to make you feel supported, to make you feel good enough, that you can generate all of those things within yourself this week, Aquarius is. Um, yeah, it feels like a really positive connection with self this week. Good week. Good week to be with you. And then we go to the Pisces. And it's the new vision card. This is a new sense of self. It's a new habit, a new routine. You may be doing something around your house. You may be changing things up. You may be moving into a new space. You may be designing a new house. You may be rearranging your bedroom. You could be doing more movement, dance. You could be working in the gardens outside. New vision, though, is like a new beginning. It's kind of like the energy of the new moon that we had this last week. Is like you planting new seeds for something for the future, new habits, new behaviors, new routines. It's usually reflective of that. And then this is like, how can I be my best self? And getting a sense of, you may get some new insights about what the future holds, or the dreams this week could be super vivid, Pisces. But it's like, if you've been waiting for the time to start a new routine, a new eating plan, a new exercise program, a new meditation practice, like this is your week. Get that launched, get that started. Like again, you could be shopping for a new home this week. You could be deciding to change up your home. Someone new could be coming to your home this week as well. And I say that because there's this outline of a home. So it often has this something specific to do with your home that will come up with this card. I'm also really drawn to the stars here. So, I mean, you guys do have a stellium in your sign. The Jupiter and the Sun and Neptune are all in your sign. So you can feel this extra activation personally, and especially for spiritual growth, psychic growth. You could just feel like you've got like the electricity turned on in your own system right now. So it feels like it's go time just to launch a new career, even. Um, but this feels very positive this week, Pisces. You just need to tap into it and realize this is a new beginning week. You can do it this week. You can get it started. The start of a whole new you. Feels very powerful. All right. And that's what I get for all the 12 signs. If you've watched all of this, thank you very much for your long attention. Again, subscribe, share this with your friends, and have a great week. Peace.